Good morning, everybody. So, this morning I have a quick reading for you. This book right here by Arsenia Fernandez Ukele. And it says, today is February 13, by the way. So, let's get started. The true reason for criticism. Numbers 12, verse 8 says, He sees the form of the Lord. Why then were you not afraid to speak against my servant Moses? Miriam and Aaron began to feel jealous and envious of their brother Moses. This is the true root of their criticism. Hiding their true motives, they began to criticize his wife, who was of a different culture. When you disagree with someone, consider this. What are your motives? Are you arguing with real facts, or are you attacking their good reputation? When you are being criticized, remember that those who are criticizing you are afraid to confront their true motives, and they cover them up with their murmuring. Since that's the way it is, don't take their criticism so personally. The spirit of envy was immediately rejected by God. Envy is one of the most satanic traits that can exist in the human heart, and it is one of the most baleful in its effect. See Patriarch and Prophets chapter 33, page 385 for reference. There were various motives for jealousy and envy of Miriam and Aaron. They were not consulted to choose the counsel of the elders suggested by Jethro, Moses' father-in-law. Zipporah was exercising greater influence in the leader's life than they themselves, and she was winning the sympathies of the multitude, the Israelites. As Moses' assistants, they began to overestimate the work that they did and were ambitious for an even more important position. In their jealousy and envy, they forgot that they held a sacred office, and they began to exalt themselves. They considered themselves to be equally favored by God, and they coveted the position and authority held by Moses. May God help us to avoid this malign spirit. God does not tolerate criticism and murmuring. Let us be careful in the comments we make about our leaders. They are not perfect, neither was Moses. He gave excuses for not accepting his calling. He complained about the people's stubbornness. He lacked faith when the people demanded meat to eat. He struck the rock. But even so, he was the chosen one of God. Any complaint against his leadership could be taken as against God himself. Every true disciple of the Master will be loyal to those who have authority within the church, even though they may have erred in their judgment. CSDA Bible Commentary, Volume 1, page 861. Promise God not to speak ill of your leaders and that you will not allow others to do so in your presence. Let me say something. You don't have to be in a certain position to have use to God. All of us, remember that the Bible says that the labor is great, but the harvest is great, but the laborers are few. There is always something for us to do, and we don't have to be in a high position to do it. I've been in church services, and for the entire service, someone before me or behind me is talking about or criticizing something that a particular church member did, or something that the pastor may have done, a certain pastor may have done. If you don't have the guts to go and say it to the person who you believe is doing something wrong, your reasons for talking about it are wrong. Because you're not benefiting the person by not speaking to them about it. You're destroying their reputation. And you would also be sowing seeds of discord. And that resembles a scene in heaven when Lucifer went around discussing God or criticizing God's ways with other angels, trying to convince them that God was not a good God, or he was not as perfect as he portrayed himself. Criticism is good when you talk to the person about it. When you are not talking to the person about their mistakes or the issues that you may have with them, you're gossiping. And sometimes as church members, we don't realize we're doing this. The attack and the things that we say are so wrong. And not just that, but the time and place that we choose to talk about certain issues, we forget that we are in the sanctuary, and the Bible says, reverence my sanctuary. So I'd like to encourage all of us. You have a problem with someone in the church, or you don't like something that they're doing, go and pray about it. The first person you talk to about a problem is God. Talk to God about it, and then if God leads you to speak to the person, go and talk to the person. Do not walk around dragging this person's reputation through the mud because you don't like what they're doing. You will be held accountable for that sin, because that's gossiping. You talk about this person with other people and you never once stop and pray for them. We need to do better. We really do. And sometimes we will not be led to confront the person directly. But as someone dear to me would always say, some things are better prayed about. May God bless you. Have a beautiful day.